In the pre-dawn darkness of June 22, 2025, a new and dangerous chapter in U.S.-Iran relations was written across the skies of the Middle East. As the world watched with bated breath, the United States Air Force launched a series of meticulously coordinated airstrikes against three of Iran's most heavily fortified nuclear facilities: Fordow, Natanz, and a site near Isfahan. Each of these sites has long been at the heart of international concern, emblematic of Iran's nuclear ambitions and the tensions that have simmered for decades between Tehran and Washington. The attack itself was a feat of modern military engineering and strategy. The U.S. deployed its most advanced long-range bombers, the stealthy, radar-evading B-2 Spirit, capable of flying vast distances undetected. These bombers carried the formidable GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, each weighing 30,000 pounds and engineered specifically to smash through reinforced concrete and subterranean defenses. The Fordow and Natanz facilities, carved deep into mountains and protected by layers of rock and steel, were designed to withstand all but the most determined strikes. Yet, on this morning, the U.S. demonstrated its resolve and technical prowess, penetrating these defenses and striking at the core of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. President Donald Trump, addressing the nation and the world, described the mission as a very successful attack. He emphasized that all U.S. aircraft returned safely, a testament to the careful planning and execution of the operation. The precision and effectiveness of the strikes underscored America's ability to project power anywhere in the world, at any time, and against even the most hardened targets. Iran, for its part, swiftly confirmed the strikes. The official response was unequivocal condemnation of what it described as a blatant act of aggression, coupled with a vow of retaliation. Iranian leaders promised that there would be consequences, raising fears of a wider conflict erupting across a region already fraught with volatility. The specter of escalation loomed large, as officials and analysts from Washington to Brussels to Riyadh warned of the risks inherent in such a direct confrontation between two long-standing adversaries. The context for these strikes is as complex as it is perilous. In the days and weeks leading up to the attack, tensions had been mounting. Israeli airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities just 9 days prior had already set a tense and confrontational tone. The United States, citing intelligence of imminent threats and ongoing concerns about Iran's nuclear program, justified its actions as both preemptive and defensive. Yet, the reality remains that the U.S. had crossed a significant threshold. The direct use of overwhelming force against Iranian territory, targeting some of the regime's most prized and protected assets. In the wake of the strikes, the U.S. moved rapidly to reinforce its military posture across the Middle East. A fleet of B-2 bombers, supported by an array of tanker and supply aircraft, was deployed from the U.S. mainland, likely staging through forward bases in Guam or Diego Garcia. These bombers are not only a symbol of America's technological edge, but also a clear signal of its willingness to act decisively. Accompanying them were squadrons of the latest generation fighter jets, F-16s, F-22 Raptors, and F-35 Lightning IIs, each bringing unique capabilities to the table, from air superiority and deep strike to electronic warfare and intelligence gathering. The U.S. Navy, too, surged its presence in the region. Aircraft carriers USS Nimitz and USS Carl Vinson, along with their attendant strike groups, took up positions in strategic waters near the Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea. These floating air bases provide unmatched flexibility and rapid response capability, able to project air power deep into hostile territory or defend against incoming threats. Tanker aircraft, critical for refueling strike and patrol planes, ensured that America's airborne arsenal could remain aloft and ready for action at a moment's notice. All told, more than 40,000 U.S. military personnel now operate from bases scattered across the Middle East. From Bahrain to Kuwait, Qatar to the United Arab Emirates, and even outposts in Jordan, Iraq, and Israel, these forces form a web of deterrence and rapid response. Their presence is both shield and sword, a deterrent against Iranian retaliation, and a guarantee that should conflict escalate, the U.S. will be ready to meet it. Yet the implications of these moves extend far beyond the immediate military calculus. For Iran, the strikes are a profound challenge to national pride and regime legitimacy. The Islamic Republic has long touted its nuclear program as a symbol of technological progress and resistance to Western pressure. To see its most prized facilities struck so forcefully is a blow that demands a response, both for reasons of domestic politics and international standing. Iran's options for retaliation are varied and fraught with risk. It could target U.S. military assets in the region, launch missile strikes against American bases or allied infrastructure, or mobilize its network of proxy forces across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. Alternatively, it might seek to disrupt global energy markets by threatening shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply flows. Each of these responses has the potential to draw the region and the world deeper into crisis. For the United States, the challenge is to balance deterrence with diplomacy. Having demonstrated its willingness and capability to act, Washington must now work to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. Military might alone cannot guarantee lasting security. Dialogue, coalition building, and careful management of alliances will be essential in the days and weeks ahead. Meanwhile, America's allies in Europe, the Gulf, and beyond watch closely, weighing their own interests and vulnerabilities. The possibility of a broader regional war, one that could disrupt global energy supplies and destabilize fragile states, is a concern shared by capitals from London to Riyadh to Beijing. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is perilously thin. In sum, the U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites mark a profound escalation in an already volatile region. They send a message of resolve and capability, but also open the door to new dangers and uncertainties. As both sides prepare for what may come next, the world holds its breath, hoping that cooler heads will prevail, and that diplomacy, rather than violence, will chart the course forward. The coming days will shape not just the future of U.S.-Iran relations, but the security and stability of the entire Middle East.